action.
Hey, how are you?
Chosen family. Tag your favorite people. Share it to your groups. I need to come up with a better song, don't
You serenade us? You gonna serenade us? All right, now.
I think that's it for the evening. Hello, welcome to the late night happy hour with Dr. Sue and Carrie Irene, where whatever comes up,
Comes
comes out.
out. Comes out.
That is the thing. How you doing, Dr. Sue?
I'm good. I'm good. I, okay, y'all. I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm gonna be talking about old folk and driving tonight. That's what's coming up for me. What you talking about, Carrie?
Wait a minute. You be talking about what?
Okay, so y'all know I moved here to Florida. I'm trying to establish residency, and the insurance rates are, oh my goodness, they are so much different than in Georgia. I would have thought that in Atlanta, I would have thought that I would be paying higher insurance rates. But in Florida,
Right.
my car insurance is like $150 more per 6 months than it was in Georgia. So I'm trying to get all of the discounts I can get. So one of the discounts, you get a don't, don't be laughing, because you can get a 5% discount on your insurance with State Farm for being a senior driver who takes the AARP of one of the other approved driving courses. So I have been trying. Oh, it is so boring.
Did you say you got to take a driving course?
It's online. It's you don't have to go. You can take it in person if you want. It's like a 6-hour class. I am at I've completed 5 hours, and it's like, when is this ever going to end? When is it going to end? But I'm learning a few new things, like, I'm wearing my seatbelt wrong. I have been wearing my lower abdomen, and really you're supposed to wear it low down over your hip. How about that? Did you know that?
I have no idea what you're talking about with this hip. No, it just goes where it goes. I don't put it
No,
in.
no. You're supposed to place it intentionally. This is
I'm
what
going
the
to
expert said. Because otherwise, it's like when it's the same as when you're in the airplane, right? And you place it low down over your hips and you place it tight, right? It's not supposed to be loose, it's supposed to be tight, but it's supposed to be not like the abdomen. It's not that lower part of your stomach. It's supposed to come a little further down than that.
I don't think mine would go down that low.
Huh?
I don't think mine would go down that low. Am I under a recall?
No, you just have to be intentional about it. And the other thing that I learned is that little resting, and I remember hearing something before, but it just didn't stick. That little head resting is supposed to come up so that it fits the back of your head, fits the middle of that rest. Like, oh, mine been coming down. I remember that you could adjust it, but I never adjusted it. It was just weird.
I don't think I ever paid any attention to that thing at all. I just get in. I don't even.
But you should, because I suppose it will protect your hair. This was interesting, and I know we know it intuitively, but we probably just don't think about it. Like I wasn't thinking about it. If when Whatever speed your car is going, okay, so this sounds very simplistic, but just stay with me.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
So whatever speed your car is going, that's what speed your body is going.
Correct.
Okay. And so when the car stops,
right,
very
you're still going.
Then you're still going. And so
Yeah.
if your car is going at 55 miles an hour and you stop real quickly, then your body is still going at 5 miles an hour. And so you're going to do that thing, right? And when you do that, the rest is in the back. It is to protect your head. Angelique, we're talking about old folk and driving, but some tips for new folk too.
I didn't know any of this.
So one more thing that I learned, I didn't know. I knew like with the, I know that the airbags can be dangerous. Oh, they're there to protect you. They can be dangerous. So you're
Right.
supposed to have 10 inches between your chest and the steering wheel, which is where the airbag, the front airbag is now housed. 10 inches. And on the on the course, they literally took a ray, they took a you know, one of those wooden rulers that you use in elementary school. So,
Yeah.
so they took the ruler and they showed how where the distance between your chest and your steering wheel should be. So that's what I learned yesterday.
So now, is it if you're too close, it's not safe, and if you're too far, it's not as effective?
Right.
There you
Right.
got to be like Goldilocks.
10 inches.
That's right.
10 inches. Because remember, it's like,
I just said you're gonna get in your car and you're gonna be like,
that's what I was doing this morning, girl. Don't hey 5% reduced on my driver's on my insurance. Oh yeah, I'm measuring.
10 and 2.
Hey, speaking of 10 and 2, the other thing I learned, another thing I learned is that that's what they used to tell you, 10 and 2, but research, according to them, research shows that it's much more effective if you put your hands lower on the steering wheel.
So like maybe an 8 and 5?
Maybe an 8 and 5, or maybe an 8 and 4.
8 and 4, that's the one.
So,
yes, right.
okay, so that's what I learned about driving.
Well,
hey, moving towards 5%, a 5% reduction on my insurance. That's $100+ for me.
Hey, she said 93. You know, there's options. We have. It's good to know we have options, and 5% is a good option.
I need all the discounts I can get.
I know.
With my quote unquote, with all of my discounts, I was able to get my insurance I was able to get it down to like $119 per month.
Ain't no wrong with that.
I thought that was pretty good.
Now, what age started? What age does this start at? Or can you do this safety driving course?
You can take the course anytime, but I think this one is just like one of the sites that I looked at had courses for all different kinds, with all different categories. Like, of course, they have it for people who do DUI, and then they have it for teen drivers, and then they have it for somebody else. So you just have to kind of research and see what your insurance company, which ones they will approve. But everybody approves senior citizens, so. Because they listen, because they scared. They
because if you don't give it to them, they're gonna call up here and you're gonna be on the phone for 3 hours.
Yeah, and they scared that we are menaces on the road. So they just say, you know,
please take this class. Please.
We get in the car and we do this. Hey y'all, I'm just playing. We don't do that.
You tell them all your business now. You tell them all your business. Now come on.
Okay, all right. What are we going to talk about? You better get out the way. You better get out the way. I'm coming.
You might as well go around and make us do what I want to do.
And you're one other thing, you know, you're supposed to raise your seat so that your line of vision is at least 3 inches above the top part of the steering wheel.
Huh? What?
Okay, so sit up properly, and when you look across, you look over the steering wheel, there should be at least 3 inches between the top of the steering wheel and your line of vision. But you've seen those old ladies.
That's supposed to be 3 inches between you and
No. Your line of sight as you're looking out over the steering wheel.
Got you. This way.
Yes. Yeah. No, because you know, like some people, you see them like that. Like raise it up, raise it up. Look,
I was like this.
Yeah, no. So that's what I've learned so far. It's dangerous out there, y'all. Be careful.
Oh my goodness, Greg. You got my face hurt. See, we don't ever get 10 minutes in and my cheeks be hurt and my face be hot. Let me see who's on the faces, book of faces. Who we got out there? Who we got out there? I can't find it. So how was your week? Monique's out there. Megan's out there.
Hey.
I think Anita's out there, but she ain't saying that. I can feel her energy. But they out there. They out there, Dr. Sue. I can't find the other ones. Angelique's out there. Hey, Angelique. Thank y'all for joining us. So we're just talking about whatever comes up, comes out. This is geometry class. I'm not sure who this is, but hey, how's it going? So yeah, we just talk about what comes up, comes out, and Dr. Sue's schooling us on these little discounts that we can get.
5%.
Hey, I'm all for a discount myself now. Like
I'm telling you,
I'm not a splurge. You know what I'm saying? And for no me. But if you can save, like why not save? I mean, it's nothing to do with trying to get, but it's like, why wouldn't you if you know? But knowledge is power. And I'm glad you told me because I'm gonna see that.
But I'll tell you, like on a more serious. Now that was serious information, but on a more serious note, I will tell you that it really does pay to shop around, to do the research, and it also pays to ask the right questions, because what I found is that if I didn't ask specific questions, then I wasn't being given that information. And I was being told, like with Geico gave me a price, and I was so excited at first. Geico gave me a price of $575 for 6 months. Who wouldn't want that, right? But when I compared what and I always ask for a written quote. And so when I compared the quote that he gave me with the insurance that I currently have with State Farm, my Georgia insurance with State Farm, what I saw on his quote sheet was that he had put declined by several things. He never asked me if I wanted those things. He just made an assumption and he declined them.
And so, bare minimum.
Right. And so the coverage that he was giving me that quote on wasn't the coverage that I had. I wanted equivalent coverage, but he didn't ask me, and I didn't know to tell him these specific things. And so when I did some more, I talked with Allstate, I talked with 2 different agents from State Farm, and I got different information. And it's like, then I started to talk, like, why is it that one person is giving me this fee and somebody else is giving me this fee? Why is it that one person is asking me if I want this and the other person is just sliding over? And then I found out, I thought this was very interesting. I found out that according to State Farm's, which I've been with State Farm for 20 years, according to their website, regardless of which agent you are interacting with, if you are asking for the same coverage, the price should be exactly the same. There should not be any difference in that quote. And yet I talked with 2 different agents, and one of them gave me a price that was like $100 more than the other one. But the one who gave me the lower price also, check this out, the one who gave me the lower price also gave me a couple of additional services that I didn't ask for because I didn't know I had them. And so when I compared that to the insurance I had from Georgia, that was the better package for me, and it came in at the lowest cost. So do your research and ask the questions. Ask the questions.
They'll sell you something that you didn't ask for, or they'll sell you something that ain't near enough as what you wanted.
because they're making commissions.
Mm-hmm.
These are salespeople who are making commissions for the most part, and so they're not concerned. And just think, if I had gone with Geico and then I had an accident or needed to use them, I would have thought that I had one service, and I would have been so angry because I didn't have what I thought I had, and really, I could blame them. Reality is that it's up to me to do my due diligence in terms of doing the research and finding out what I need to ask. And I didn't do this, but it just occurred to me, ask ChatGPT what questions you should ask I'm serious. ChatGPT. Now, first of all, ChatGPT is going to tell you, I'm not a lawyer.
Right. So don't even try.
Consult with your attorney. And then you say to it, okay, so you're not a lawyer, but if you were, what are the questions, right? And so it will tell you exactly what questions to ask. I didn't do this with the insurance. I did it when I was considering moving companies. I went into ChatGPT and said, well, what questions should I be asking them at U-Haul? Well, what questions should I be asking the different moving companies?
I've got my U-Haul before. It was early in life, thank God, because I moved out of life. But yeah,
because they don't tell you. They don't tell you, and it's especially they're specialty services, so you don't know. But ChatGPT, y'all don't get fooled by the hype. Yeah, it can be used for bad, but anything can be used for bad. But it can be used for good, so use it to your advantage. It's like it's a gold mine of available resources that will, ultimately, if you need a lawyer, you just need a lawyer. But in terms of the interim step, even to know what questions to ask the lawyer about your situation, ChatGPT can help you and give you that information instantly. And Microsoft Bing has that the chat box as well, so it can do the same thing. But I prefer ChatGPT.
Yeah, I've used ChatGPT, and every time I've used it, it's never let me down. I can definitely say that, and I've suggested to a couple people as well. But it does help with a lot of wording because I'm a synonym type of person. I don't like to be talking about something and saying the same word to describe the same thing. I want to use different words to give you different depths of what I'm talking about. So I do love it for that. Yeah, it does help you create a lot of depth in what you're trying to say and portray. Mm-hmm.
It's such a gold mine because you can use it for almost anything. And for those of you who are listening and you have a business, you can use it to create your marketing materials. You can get Fiverr, you can get marketing experts, but ChatGPT, if you put in the right prompt, tell it what you want, tell it who your ideal market or who your ideal customer is, tell them what it is that you want the market, the ad to achieve. It will create very quickly. It'll give you exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't give you what you want, you just ask it again. It is to the extent that you don't get what you want, it is many times it's user error because you're not framing the question or what they call the prompt. You're not giving it enough information, or you're not giving it the right information. But when you get clear on what you want, then you can just drop that in. I've used it to create art, to write articles. I've used it to create blogs. I've used it to create different posts for Instagram, Facebook, for LinkedIn. I've used it to write articles for LinkedIn. And the thing is, you have to know enough about your topic so that you can know when it is quote unquote hallucinating, because it'll give you wrong information. And then you will look like an idiot if you don't know that the information is wrong. So you got to have some background, you got to have some knowledge about what it is you're asking for. But if once you have that, then the way to use it isn't to take it exactly. It's not just to take what ChatGPT says in its entirety. It rather you have it do multiple. It's like brainstorming. So you ask it the same thing, maybe 2 or 3 different ways. Then you look at what it has given you and use it as a basis for creating your own document. And then once you may pull pieces from each of the things that it's given you, each of the copies, right? Then you drop that back into Chat GPT and say, polish this or refine this or write this at the level of a 6th grader or a post high school.
That's a good one. I need to write that. Right. This as a 6th grader.
Yeah, learning how to communicate with Chat GPT is a great skill. And at some point, as soon as I get settled here, I'm going to offer a class on Chat GPT for beginners because I'm fascinated by it. It's just my initial reaction to Chat GPT was probably much akin to that of many people, like, oh, some more crap, right? Something else. And I didn't pay any attention to it. So it came out in October of October 21, 22, but then October 22. But then when they really started talking about it, like in March of 23, I thought, let me look at this again with fresh eyes. And the reason I did was because I remembered when the internet first came about and somebody asked me, are you on the internet? And I went, no, I don't do that. Duh. I remember that as being
the beast.
Error. That was an error, right? Erroneous thinking, right?
Yeah.
Now who can live without the internet? You can't live without it, right? And so I remembered that experience and I thought, let me now take a different perspective with this Chat GPT. So I don't know the coding part, but I have been consuming all of the information I can get on how to create prompts and what prompts are most effective and how to use it effectively to increase your productivity, to become more efficient. So it's a great resource. And as soon as I get settled here in Gainesville, like probably another month or so, I'm going to start marketing the course because I think that it will, some people's jobs will be lost. And the way to, on the one hand, that's a horrible thing. But on the other hand, I think the way to think about that is to think, okay, so the job that I may have been doing before, that job is no longer available, but how can I incorporate artificial intelligence and my knowledge of that into what I'm doing so that I can come in at a higher level? Do you know, this is the thing.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hey, I'm about to drop a real pro knowledge.
Now.
Listen, do you know that they have created new positions, and one of the positions that they've created is called a prompt, PROMPT, prompt engineer. Do you know how much those people are getting paid? $350,000 plus to create prompts that are effective. Now, what makes them different from me is that many of them have the knowledge in coding. I ain't interested in learning coding. But if that's something that you're interested in, that's a new position that didn't exist before Chat GPT.
Only thing it takes for you to go get that job was somebody tell you can't.
I'm going to ignore that. Anyway, see, I just told y'all about Chat GPT, how to make it more. It can become your marketer. Even the marketers are using Chat GPT. Even the marketers have been using artificial intelligence forever and ever and ever. They just didn't tell you. And you and I thought that they were being totally humanly creative, and they are with the assistance of artificial intelligence.
There's database for word framing, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's been going on a while. Now it's just consolidated to such a powerful level, you know. The 1090.
Chat GPT brought it to the forefront, but I'm so anal, y'all. I'm sorry.
So business.
Yeah, she tells all their business off.
Oh,
So
business.
listen, when in March, when I decided, let me look at this again, of course, at that point, all of the conversation it was about artificial intelligence is going to take over the world. It's We are destroying ourselves. Hey, we're doing it without ChatGPT. We're doing, we're doing a pretty bad job of
Right.
prolonging
Right.
life on Earth. Look at all these heat waves, et cetera, et cetera. We don't have global warming, et cetera, et cetera. But that aside,
Right.
so me being the quote unquote researcher that I am, I think, let me just go to the source. Let me ask ChatGPT, are you going to destroy the world? Don't laugh at me.
I
It,
can't.
because guess what it said? Of course not. Of course not. And I'm going to link that. I'm going to link that to something that happened later. There was a couple months ago, there was an article about an attorney who used ChatGPT to write a legal brief.
Mhm.
And apparently it was a case that was for a hearing before some court. And the other attorneys, when they did their due diligence and researched the cases that this attorney had cited in his brief, they were non-existent cases. So they filed a complaint with the court saying that, there was some misconduct there. And the judge brought the person up, and, the attorney had to respond to the claim. Did you write the brief? And are those cases, are those real cases? So the attorney said, yes, I wrote the brief. I used ChatGPT to help me write the brief. And ChatGPT, listen, this is quote, this is quote. I asked ChatGPT if the cases were real, and it said that they were. So I asked ChatGPT if it was going to destroy the world, and it said that it wasn't. I'm just saying. What I will say is that ChatGPT, when you start to use it, if you read all the instructions, which I'm anal, I read everything I could. What it tells you is that ChatGPT will hallucinate. It hallucinates. It makes up
GPT hallucinates.
Yeah, and that's what they call it. It makes it up, and it will tell you, yes, it's true. And that's why you must have a foundation in the topic that you're interested in. You don't just rely on what ChatGPT tells you. You got to do your own independent research. Google it.
YouTube University. Google.
YouTube University. Google it. Rely on your other resources so that when
you gotta get something peer reviewed. That's what you better do.
Yeah. So when you find a consistent theme in the research that yes, then you can take what ChatGPT is saying and go, oh yeah, well that makes sense, right? And so you work from it that way. But you don't just take what ChatGPT tells you, because it will tell. And I being who I am, I just pushed it. What kind of questions can I ask it? How far can I push it before it starts giving me answers that don't make sense based on my knowledge of the area that I'm asking about? And so when I got to that break point, then I understood, oh, okay, so truly you must have some idea about what you're talking about in order to use it effectively. Because yes, it will tell you stuff, and it will just be, hey, this is gold here. This is and it will sound so good.
On my mama, on my hood.
Yeah, it will sound so good, and it would be so wrong. So you don't want to go out looking like that, right? So yes, use it, but use it wisely, because it's a productivity tool. It is designed to help. Well, let me back up. I don't know why they designed it. That's something that they tell us one thing, but we don't really know what the real deal is. I'm just saying, that's my opinion on it. But that aside, I am using it as a productivity tool, because I've used it to do all of those things that I told you, and to do it very quickly. and people use it to write books. One of my clients, I was her writing coach for about 3 months. She just couldn't get it. She had such difficult, she had a wealth of information that she wanted to share, but she couldn't get the languaging right. She couldn't get the conceptualizations right. How about when, and I didn't have to do this, but I really fell in love with this person as a human being. So as I started to learn about ChatGPT, I gave her a call. She's in London. I gave her a call. We set up an appointment, and I literally walked her through how to use ChatGPT. She finished a book.
Look at that.
The book. So you can use it very effectively.
Yeah.
But remember, it does hallucinate, so you must do your due diligence. Don't you like the way they use that phrase, that term, hallucinate? It lies, y'all. It'll lie to you.
Y'all. Yeah, I'm not well versed in ChatGPT, but what I did learn, I learned from Dr. Sue, and it has done me quite well.
I love ChatGPT.
And I share it with people. Yeah, I've been sharing it with people too. They were like, I'm trying to do this marketing, I'm trying to do this flyer, and then this flyer 5 times. I'm like, I felt like an infomercial. Have you tried ChatGPT? And then they're like, ChatGPT? What's that? Let me show you. You send the link.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
It's really good, though. It really is good. It does help you. It's a reframing for me. Yeah.
I think when I told you about it, what did I said something like, "Oh my God, I'm in love."
Yes. You said I have a new love or something like that. I'm like,
yes. I said, I'm so in love. Let me tell you about her. Her name is ChatGPT, and she can do all of these. She can just do anything you want, content-wise. Oh my God, that girl is all of that and then some, y'all.
A bag of chips. She said, it's like this.
Yeah.
Oh, but this good point here, though, it is just like any person. You just can't blindly trust
No.
anything. You know, you have to do your due diligence. So otherwise, you will find yourself living your due diligence.
Yeah, you use it's a tool. It's a tool. Yeah. Because what we have to remember is that it is being the way it works, as best I understand it, is that it pulled all of the information that it could from the internet and other public sources. Now you have to remember, where's that information on the internet coming from? It's coming from us. It's coming from humans, right? And so all of our biases, and even though AI, even though artificial ChatGPT is supposedly designed to prevent biases from creeping in, it's still programmed by humans. And so to going back to that question, ChatGPT, are you going to destroy the world? Humans are programming the data into, it's a large language database. So we're putting our stuff in there. And if ChatGPT if it ultimately evolves so that it has quote unquote human characteristics, it's because we programmed it that way. If it evolves so that it has biases and all of the other things that we don't want it to have, it didn't program itself. We, whoever the humans are, put it in there. And so when you're using ChatGPT, one of the things they tell you is that they take the information that whatever your questions are, whatever the responses are, it'll ask you, you'll see a thumbs up, thumbs down. I never acknowledge that, but it has thumbs up, thumbs down for whether the answer is great or not. But then they also have humans, they take that data. They look at the questions and everything, and they actually have human testers who are reviewing the information that you put in, the comments that you make, and then they're feeding that back in, like it's a loop. So they're feeding that back into ChatGPT. So again, you can see that if there's incorrect information in there, the computer isn't creating it. If there are biases, the computer isn't, the AI isn't creating it. It is the humans who are programming it based on their knowledge, which is coming from all of us who use it. And not just that, all of us who use the internet. And I did see one place that several authors were suing OpenAI for appropriating their intellectual property because they didn't ask, they didn't have permission to use it, right? So this thing is, it's like it's opening up so many new legal issues. But again, y'all, it's also opening up jobs. It's taking jobs, but it's opening up jobs. And the question is, are you curious enough to get into it to learn how you can use it effectively and perhaps use it to help you achieve your goals? Because I've seen how some people, and obviously I haven't done any fact checked on this, but there are people who are saying that they've used it to create all kind of income. There are people who view, I know my client used it to write her book, and I've used it for what I've used it for, but also that people are using it to create websites and to create businesses and to get different I use it to develop a marketing strategy for my business. First I said, give me a 30-day strategy, and I gave it the parameters. Then I said, give me a 90-day strategy. Then I said, give me a 1-year strategy. So you can use it for strategic planning. So many things that you can use it for. The key is just to keep an open mind and be curious and understand that the information that you get is only as good as the question that you put in. And so again, it is that garbage in, garbage out. You ask a bad question, you're going to get bad response, plus the hallucination. Okay.
Yeah,
ChatGPT.
GPT. Look, we need to contact ChatGPT so we can come up with a good ad from this live.
I love ChatGPT. I'm the poster girl for ChatGPT.
You're a novice.
I can see the potential.
Oh, you ain't no novice. Yeah, well, I definitely can see the potential too. I mean, just the things that you've done with it, you know, because is anybody out here in the Red Diamond group? And then some of the stuff and the content, the way it's put together, like I love it. And you know me, I'm over here writing in a notebook first.
Yeah, I think that despite the fact that this probably wasn't the intention, artificial intelligence, when used properly, can be a great equalizer. There's so many things, and it comes with a measure of ease that you don't have with other modalities, right? And so again, the important thing is, if you don't know it about it, and you ask a question, you could get anything and you won't know whether it's valid and valuable or not. But if it's an area that you're already steeped in, if this is your thing, then you can use, because you have knowledge that is specific to what your issue or your business is, you take that knowledge and drop it into ChatGPT and tell it, this is what I want. And you can even train it to speak with your voice.
Right.
One of the things I did in my early stage was to say, explain this to me, write this at a 6th grade level. Now write it at a high school level. Now write it in the voice of a lawyer. Now write it as a PhD. And then I said, okay, so write this in the voice of Dr. Sue Carter Collins, JD, PhD. And to look at the way it wrote it as a 6th grade for the 6th grader versus the way it wrote it for me in my voice when I gave it some specifics, it was like night and day. So again, the usefulness is directly related to, number one, your curiosity and your creativity and your knowledge base. Because if you don't know what to ask, the error is user error in terms of framing the prompt.
Right. That's life. I mean, really, ChatGPT, if you can just apply how precise you can be about what you want and what you're trying to say, and get more in touch with your own voice and know how to exhibit that and to communicate that, what is supposed to be there will show up. It ain't no lie about it.
This is
no
true.
lie about it. Yeah, chat GPT, y'all. Chat GPT, your life. Chat GPT, your life, for real.
Yeah, and it occurs to me, it hadn't occurred to me before this, but it occurs to me that, well, I've thought of using Chat GPT as a sounding board for business issues, right?
Yeah.
But it's a great, okay, so here is the caveat beforehand. If you got medical issues, you need to see a doctor. You got legal issues, you need to see a lawyer. You got whatever issues that require you to see, whatever your issues are. If they are therapeutic, then you need to see the right professional. Chat GPT is not that. It's not that. But if you're seeking information, even in terms of how to interact with the various professionals, it's a great starting place. It's a great starting place. And it occurs to me, even it's a way, depending on how you do it, it is a way of having a conversation with yourself. For instance, you might say, well, I'm feeling this kind of way, and I feel, and I'm thinking this, and this. If you were a woman and you give your characteristics, and this is what you were thinking, how might that impact your life, or what kind of career would you be interested in? You drop in the parameters or the factors that you wanted to consider. Maybe things. Okay, so here's I'm stopping in mid thought, but it just occurred to me. Maybe here's perhaps a more relatable example. You're in this relationship with this person. Doesn't matter what the gender is. You're in a relationship with the person, and these are some of the things that you're seeing. And you may want to know, how viable is this relationship? Ask ChatGPT.
Ooh, ChatGPT gonna be right.
I'll be curious to see what it says. Right?
I can see the headlines now. GPT ruled my life.
GPT got you out of some stuff.
GPT has done it again.
GPT helped you to see what you couldn't see otherwise. Because again, if you use it as a sounding board, if you use it for brainstorming, you don't have to take that. Listen. Y'all getting to see Dr. Sue in action, how anal I am. So when I ask Chat GPT a question, and like most people, I have a very specific answer that I want. I'll just keep asking it in different ways.
You don't know the answer you want. Just write that down.
I just ask it in different ways. But here's the thing with ChatGPT. Here's the thing with ChatGPT. It doesn't matter how many ways you ask it. If the answer is no, it's still gonna be no. It'll use different words, but it's still gonna be no.
Yes, no is no. No means that's the first thing they typed in when they programmed it. No means no.
So if you asking about this bad relationship because he done me wrong, she done me wrong, it's still gonna be, hey, that's a bad relationship. You need to move on.
You just gonna shut down. I'm tired. Try again tomorrow.
So think about ChatGPT. Play with it. Because it's addictive. Everybody that I have told about it, once they have started playing with it, it's like, oh my God, it does this and it does that. And like when I told the first person I told about it, and at first she was skeptical, and then she played with it, and then she came back and she said, I'm not telling anybody about this. Are you going to tell people about this? I'm going to keep this information. It's like,
she said she ain't gonna tell her. It's gonna be just between you and her.
Like, why you gonna tell people?
GPT like, is false GPT.
Why would I not tell people? I'm telling everybody. That's what I said. I said it like this. I'm telling everybody. I'm telling everybody.
It's a resource. I wouldn't go tell nobody. You remember that song?
Say it again. I can't hear you.
He said I wasn't gonna tell nobody, but I couldn't keep it.
Couldn't keep it to myself. It's such great information. It is such great information, you know.
Yeah, share the good news like it was shut up, like it was shut up in your bones. You had to share.
Well, this is what I know about sharing information. I'm a teacher. And I'm going to try as I might not to teach. I'm going to always be teaching something in every conversation, but I'm also a sharer of information. What I know is that I can tell you all of my secrets. I can tell you everything that I've learned about anything that I've learned it about. And that's not going to make a difference in your life unless you choose to do something with that information. So for me, I feel like I'm doing what God has called me to do, which is I'm a way shower. I tell people, I show in different ways, spiritually and otherwise, right? And so I don't care what other people do with the information or what they don't do with the information that I share. That's not my thing. Once I have done what I am called to do by source, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. And if you use that information, and if you don't, I mean, really, because when I was at a more immature stage of spiritual development, I've always told people stuff, but I might have gotten mad if they didn't act on it, right? Or I might have gotten mad if they did act on it.
Oh God, yeah, oh yeah.
You know, depending on the situation. But anymore, I'm just very clear that as we talk, what comes up comes out. And when I share about my personal life, I share with a point. I'm always telling stuff about me, but I'm telling you so that you can see how things work in real life. And so maybe it makes it more relatable for you. My book, my life is an open book. Y'all can buy my book, Return to Self. That's a very direct marketing ploy, but you can buy my book, Return to Self, which is 5 Keys to Spiritual and Emotional Freedom, which is on Amazon at a very reasonable price. Also got an ebook, but I only tell you that not so much that I'm interested. I haven't made any money on that book. I mean, really. But what I do, writing that book was very freeing for me. And some of my quote unquote deepest, darkest stuff is in that book. And so after I did that, after I put that out there for the world to see, I'm an open book. I'll talk to you about anything. You big enough to ask the question, I'm big enough to give you the answer. If you like it, fine. If you don't like it, that's also fine. But whatever answer I give you, hopefully it's coming from the purity of my heart, and it's coming in a way that is designed to be uplifting and to provide you with not the way, because there's no the way. The way is your way. I simply give you information to provide a perspective. This is a perspective based on my life, based on my knowing, based on my experiences. So you take that, you consider it or not. I say take what you want, leave what you don't. I'm okay with it. There was a time that I wouldn't have been okay with it. I would have wanted you to take it all, but I'm just
we're gonna eat the cake, anime. Eat the cake.
But you know, spiritual maturity, it is just so freeing. And it's like once when you step into, this is what enlightenment is all about, the awareness that we are each here on our own journey, and we don't have to do it any particular way. You do it your way, I do it my way, and each way is the right way. And if you can support someone and you can help someone along the way, praise be. But the thing is, you have to do what you are divinely called to do. And once you do that, you are not responsible for how anybody else responds. You do so from a place of higher wisdom, higher knowledge, with the good of the person and the good of humanity. Those are the things that you should be focused on. And if that's the space that you're coming from, and you put that information out there, and people choose not to deal with it, or however they choose to deal with it, that ain't your stuff. Step back. That ain't your stuff. Put it out there, leave it alone, and keep it moving. because we have to find our own way. I had to find my way to that truth. You'll have to find your way to that truth as well.
Mm. And the road and the journey is worth it, baby, because when that weight comes off of all of the responsibility that you have put on yourself about the way other people feel, it ain't no more relaxed feeling shoulders in the world. Just think of right now, everybody just think of your shoulders and let them drop a little bit. I guarantee you they was up a little bit. I guarantee you it was up a little bit. I don't care. Even if you was laying down, your head was probably up looking at the phone. Relax your head. That's what it feels like. It's just like, wait.
It's a relief and a release.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lightness that you feel, that I felt when knowing, number one, I don't have to know the answer to life's problems. I don't have to know exactly where I'm going. Now, I still struggle a little bit with that, because I want to know. The human in me wants to know exactly where I'm going, down the street, around the corner, up the hill. And I still want to know, but I would say 80% of that I've released that, because I understand you can know even when you think you know. That's a hallucination, y'all. You can't know. Even when we do these strategic plans where we plan it step by step by step, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and hey, the divine has it all in control. So, and the divine allows you to, I call that mind masturbation, to play with your mind. God allows you to play with your mind. See, because it feels good to you. And we need some feel good. We need some feel good, you know. So but just know that, like ChatGPT hallucinates, you're hallucinating too when you think that you have control. When you write that plan and I got to do this, and this, and this, it ain't gonna work that way. Life is gonna come in and out and about and up and down. And here's the key. This was the hard thing for me. Stay in the flow.
Yeah.
Just know the river is going where it goes. The river of life is going where it goes. Just try to stay in the middle. But if you stay in the middle, at least stay in the water.
Yeah.
Don't get out on the shore, because you're now no longer in the flow, right?
Yeah.
So just stay, move. And some we hit these little bumps. It's normal. It's natural. You're gonna hit a bump in everything you do. ChatGPT, senior citizens driving course. There were a couple, like the first, they have these little tests in there that you have to take.
Senior citizens driving course.
Yeah, you have to take little quizzes, right? And listen, the first one, I'm multitasking, not really paying attention. I get to the quiz, and 5-question quiz, and I got a 60. You have to have 80 to pass. So like, what? Oh, you want me to read? I got to really.
You thought they were just gonna give you the right answers and keep it moving.
Yeah, I just gonna play with. No, girl. So that was a little bump that got my attention. So then I've been getting 80s and 100, because you have to have 80 to pass. And in every one of these blocks, they've got little quizzes, and they also have little things in there where they will ask you questions to verify who you are. Like they'll give you the phone number, and they'll give you 6 of the numbers instead of all of the numbers, and you have to select the numbers. We got to keep you on your toes. Life does that. But again, you just try to stay in the middle. No, not too high, not too low, but know that you're going to have some ups and downs. But the river will continue to go. That is the river of life, from birth to birth. And I say birth to birth rather than birth to death, because when we transition from this body, our spirit still lives. We're just moving on in a different form.
Very new. Yeah, flow is not about smooth and easy. Flow is about moving within whatever current is, whatever the way the current is moving, which makes it in turn smooth and easy, because it's the path of least resistance. Just to ride that way. And it's the peace comes in knowing that you're taken care of, no matter what comes, no matter what twists, no matter what turns. It's very, very, It feels good. That's the best way I can put it. It feels so good to be in flow. It does. Mm-hmm. All
So
right.
what are people saying in the comments?
Tonight.
What the people saying in the comments, y'all?
Angelique saying claps and stars and hearts, and that she loved that. And I looked and saw earlier. Who was this? I can't remember who it was. If it was, because I know not Michelle. Who was in the room earlier?
Who is Facebook user?
And Facebook user. That was Commander Ice, but Letitia was in the room earlier too. She said that's why. That's what they teach in Minnesota, the 6 and 3. When you're talking about the driving hand, there it is, right there. But yeah, Angelique, thanks you for the free driving class, also.
Yeah, I'm just saying, 5% is 5%.
Monique said you was throwing out them safety measures now. Oh yeah, that was good. I learned something.
What comes up comes out. I had no idea what was coming up.
Right.
This was
surprisingly informative talk today. Absolutely. I love it. We're here for the people. You know what I'm saying? We're here for the people. All right, Dr. Sue, any closing remarks?
I talked a lot, y'all, but that's what I do.
I love it.
I have had some major insights about where I am in life right now. And I knew that in coming back to Florida, I felt and I feel that I was divinely called. Still not sure what that's about, but as I am settling in, I'm also settling into being more comfortable talking about what I do and more comfortable in the realm of practical spirituality. And so if you want to, if you are a person who needs a label for the nature of the conversation that we were having today, think of it from a practical spirituality standpoint. That is that we threw in some spiritual principles, but we told you how you can use those in your everyday living situations. Because spirituality without practical application, it's just theory. It is of no value. So what I am settling into a new me, and I hope that you're settling into a new you, because the reality is that we're constantly evolving. We're evolving whether we are intentional about it and we're ascending, or we are evolving or quote unquote devolving in whether we are becoming more entrenched in old ideas and old ways that are not helpful or that are not supportive of the person that we want to be. And so I say this, and I'm going to throw it back to Carrie, who's going to talk to us about the space retreat.
No,
this is what we'll be talking about.
So you all make the topic, the space retreat next week? I think that would be great. So the space retreat is something that was given to me. It is a 9-day retreat. It is filtered through the aligning of the chakras, but like Dr. Sue, is from a very practical basis, so that you can actually take all the things and the theories and the cliches and the quotes and put them into practice without any resistance. People who are like-minded, or people who are like-minded in the sense that they don't mind how you practice your spirituality, so that you don't have that. You can look at your shadows and actually have the conversation instead of hiding it because you're scared someone's going to see you. The space retreat is for that. You know, we all have that side. It's not something that we should shun or that we should hide from. It's something that we have to take the time to have a conversation with, so we can better understand ourselves. That is what the space retreat is all about. So I will have a nice little something for y'all. Now this is exciting. It is so aligned just because things are happening. Things are happening, and I still don't know the how, but things are happening. And it just makes my jaw drop. Me and a lady was having a conversation yesterday about, it doesn't matter how many times God shows up for you. It's almost like it's the first time. you witnessed the miracle before, but when he does it again, you're just like, I didn't think it could get any better. Yeah. And it just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. So stay tuned. Y'all be back next week now. You better come on. You want to be here.
What comes up, come out.
Because what comes up, comes out. We're going to talk about it. So we are going to see you again next week, Friday, for the late night happy hour with Dr. Sue and Carrie Irene, where whatever comes up, it comes out. Love y'all. Bye.
You know, as I was thinking about what we are doing, it really is an opportunity for people to connect with their beingness. We are not conscious of the compartmentalization. We just say, this is who I am, right? Who you are is different depending on the environment that you find yourself in or the people that you find yourself connected with. So I hold myself out as an example. You know, at 71 years old, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey to self-acceptance. And I think it may be that way for many of us, that we look at the pieces of ourselves and decide, I can show that. No, I can't show that. Is there a danger? How deep is the danger if I show you all of me? Oh, I can show these people this part of me, and these people this part of me, and these people this part of me. And then the question is, how long before you get tired of just compartmentalizing your beingness?